Which of the House of Dragon characters are most likely to survive throughout the show? Hi, this is Simon Canlish and welcome to Marvelous Videos. In the world of superheroes, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. But in the Game of Thrones that played in Westeros, you either win the game or you just die a sorry death. If there's one thing that Game of Thrones has taught us, it is that one should not root for any favourite characters, and such would be the case in House of the Dragon. The Dance of the Dragon will not just slay dragons, but also several members of the Targaryen family, and only a handful would remain alive to see the horrific dance come to an end. In this video, we will explore all the House of the Dragon characters that are most likely to survive throughout the show. So let's begin, shall we? Oh, and by the way, there are plenty of spoilers ahead, so tread carefully. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small clip for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin.
But I cannot restore his eye.
No, because it's been taken.
What would you have me do?
There is a debt to be paid.
Number 1. Alicent Hightower. Alicent Hightower, the queen and friend who never was, would probably be saved because of the friendship she once shared with Rhaena, and also because she was loved by Viserys. And if you think about it, the show tries to tell that she struggled to put the crown on her nincompoop son's head because she thought that was her husband's dying wish. Little did she know that Viserys never held anyone apart from Rhaena worthy of sitting on that disastrous iron chair. Yes, she survives the dance in the book and goes on to have an awful ending where she loses her mind and starts hating and fearing the colour green, the colour of her house. And I would not be surprised if she did survive in the show, because apart from a few minor changes, House of the Dragon is grounded in its source materials.
In the stepstones. Is that we now control them?
Number 2. Lord Corlys Velaryon. Who do we have here? Oh, it's a sea snake, the man who gave everything to House Targaryen and to Rhaenyra's cause, and yet struggled to keep his family name afloat. In the book, Lord Corlys loses his son, his wife, and Lucerys, whom he had named heir to Driftmark. He then legitimizes Adam of Hull, a bastard, and renames him as Adam Velaryon, the heir to Driftmark. However, a paranoid Rhaenyra orders Adam's execution and puts at risk another heir to Driftmark. This results in her losing a dragon as well as the Queen's hand, Lord Corlys Velaryon. Corlys then changes his colours from black to green, but in the end, he ensures the safety of Aegon the Younger and his granddaughters Baela and Rhaena. But Corlys puts the final nail in the coffin on the Dance of the Dragons by poisoning Aegon II. When Lord Cregan Stark finally reaches King's Landing with a strong northern army, he takes control of the Red Keep and arrests Corlys, who is later spared by Aegon III. I think the show would spare Corlys an early death because he is not inherently evil and does what he does for what is morally good.
There is one way to destroy his advantage.
Number 3. Lord Larys Strong. No one really expected Littlefinger or Varys to survive as long as they survived. It seems people with the least amount of physical strength somehow managed to survive for the longest duration in Westeros. Whatever it is, Larys Strong is someone who is not loyal to anyone but himself. He sided with the Greens when it suited him, he killed his kin when it suited him, and he probably would not shy away from killing his sworn king when it would suit him. However, like all Westerosi men who are not true to their word, Larys would also meet a similar fate, but I'm pretty certain that he would survive long enough for the dance to end. It would be only then that the stranger would knock on this man's door. But if you ask me personally, I wouldn't mind if he falls off a cliff or, gets eaten by one of those dragons.
This is Aegon.
Aegon.
Number 4. Prince Aegon Targaryen III. When the dance started in the book, Aegon III, or Aegon the Younger, was not a toddler, but a boy of 8 or 9. Close to the end of the Civil War, Prince Viserys decided that Aegon III and Viserys II should be sent away for their own safety. But the plan fails when the two brothers are caught by a small Triarchy fleet. But Prince Aegon managed to escape on his dragon Stormcloud, and if there's one character that has the most chances of surviving the war, it has to be Aegon III, because if not he, who else would rule after everything is done? But there's just one small hiccup. The Dance of the Dragon would not really last so long that Prince Aegon would grow into a young boy, so I'm a bit confused about the next time jump that would come with Season 2 or the seasons thereafter, but let's see. We should find out in less than 2 years.
And this is Viserys.
Number 5. Prince Viserys II Targaryen. As I mentioned in a previous entry, Aegon III leaves Westeros along with his younger brother Viserys. The two of them turn out to be the last Targaryens with Rhaenyra's blood, as all others perished in the war. In the book, Viserys remained on the ship as Aegon flew away, but Viserys managed to conceal his identity for a while and reached Essos, the land from which the First Men and Andals are said to have originated. In Essos, he is discovered by men of the Triarchy, who apprehend him, and he ends up at the house of a wealthy Lycene man. Fortunately for Viserys though, he is discovered by the Black supporters and is brought back to King's Landing, where he serves as Hand of the King to his elder brother. Later he becomes king and hence makes Rhaenyra the daughter of a king and the mother of 2 kings.
Must claim that right. Your father will tell you the same.
Number 6. Daemon's daughters, Baela and Rhaena, also lived through the end of the House of the Dragon. 2 unlikely survivors of the House Dragon would turn out to be Princess Baela and Rhaena, the daughters of Daemon Targaryen and Lena Velaryon. Close to the end of the war, Baela had been captured by the Greens and Rhaena had been sent to the Vale for her own protection. But after Lord Corlys turned to the Greens, he made certain demands, among which was the release of Baela. Although the Greens were outraged by this, Larry Strong convinced the Queen that it was the safest thing to do. As for Rhaena, she remained in the Vale until the war ended. In fact, it was there that a dragon egg hatched as well. Both the sisters were reunited when Lady Jane and Rhaena came to King's Landing after Aegon II's passing. Number 7. Additionally, Alyn Velaryon, a legitimized bastard son of Laenor, survives the Dance of the Dragons and becomes the Velaryon family's Lord of the Tides after Corlys' death. During the course of the war, Lord Corlys Velaryon lost like 3 heirs to Driftmark. He lost his son Laenor, then his grandson Viserys, and then his legitimized heir Adam Velaryon. But it seems Corlys always had a ready supply of heirs. His next chosen heir was Adam's brother Alyn Velaryon, whom he had legitimized along with Adam. Alyn had been forced to serve the Greens for a brief period, but he remained unhurt even after Aegon II had perished. He lived a long life. After 43 years after the dance, he disappeared into the sea, never to be heard from again. Well, much like Game of Thrones, we will see quite a few deaths in the prequel series. Some we will enjoy and some we will mourn. But no matter what, the greatest loss that anyone would feel would be that of the dragons. Those magnificent beasts that are probably more intelligent than men.
I swear to ward the Queen with all my